This video is not for those who are fearful, timid, scared, angry, negative. You want to wait on somebody else to do things. Someone else will take care of it. Naysaying, what about this? What about this? Ain't for you. Keep scrolling. This video is to bring out a few things that need to be considered. The food recalls are not going to continue. They are going to eventually just not tell us. And there's a lot we're already not being told. We need to be moving now with the assumption that things are not regulated, things are not safe, things are not clean, and there's a lot that we are not being told. If you need to have an example, which we have more than enough, but please look at Gary. And I think there's something I saw going on now in Arizona. They're going to, my sibling and I were just talking about this yesterday. They're just going to stop telling us things. Okay, they're going to stop telling us things as they continue to dismantle the agencies that were in place to keep us safe. Because this is not about preservation of lives, and we need to understand that and accept it. We're still not accepting it. Us sitting and fussing on the internet is doing nothing. We're not accepting the reality that is before us, which is that these people do not care about your life or your safety. You need to care about it. And you need to care about your neighbor as well, because you're not going to survive this alone. So that said, if you're already growing food, please consider growing extra food. Please consider diversifying how you grow your food. Perhaps you have some hydroponics set up in your house, as well as something maybe in like a little small, I don't know if you can make like a hoop house, as well as something out in your garden. Okay? Please consider getting extra seeds so that you can share, so that you will have extra, so that you can trade and barter. Please consider doing that. Please consider, if you are interested in growing food, learning now, taking it in quickly as you can, learning and practicing. Practicing is where you learn. Doing it is where you learn. You don't need to be online having analysis paralysis, because you can watch a lot of videos and still not know how to practically apply the knowledge. You need to be hands-on learning. Okay? Please consider, if you are not already plugged into mutual aid networks in your area, you need to be plugged into mutual aid. You need to be plugged into the food pantries. You need to be plugged into the people, the organizers on the ground who have been doing this work. They know what they're doing. We need people to support the people who are already doing the work. We do not need people trying to prop up a whole bunch of new organizations right now who don't know what they're doing. Defer. Put your ego to the side and defer to the people who have already been doing the work, who already know the lay of the land. They already know the need of the community. They already know what's what and who's who. Plug in with them and get to work helping them. Support them. They need support. Whether you can support them financially, whether you can volunteer, whether you can repost whatever it is that they're sharing on social media. Also, we need to be building networks outside of these platforms, because the platforms are silencing us. Those of us who are trying to help people, we get suppressed. We get suppressed. We deal with a lot of spiritual attacks. We deal with a lot of hate. We deal with a lot of negativity. We need to build something outside of these platforms, because the platforms are compromised. They've been hijacked. They don't want us building and helping one another. We got to find other ways. We got to really go back to the old school, in person, face to face, on the ground. If you are fearful, if you are jealous-hearted, if you are led of your ego, if you are led by all type of foolishness, if you don't even see the need to do any of this sort of stuff, just get out of people's way. Because some of us understand what's happening, and we're trying to be a support, and we're trying to survive. Get out of the way if you're not going to help people, because this is serious. It's not a game. This is go time. I've been talking on this page and on my platforms on social media for so long. It is go time now. So hopefully you caught everything that I said, but we got to move now from fussing on the internet, talking in our circles and in our groups, and into action. Action is what's needed. We are fools if we sit here and see these disasters unfolding. And like we don't do anything, there's not a response. That's foolish. Okay, my family lived through stuff here in Texas when we had that snowstorm. That was the only warning signal I needed. COVID, only warning signal I needed. I didn't need nobody to tell me like, oh, the government's not gonna help us anymore. they've clocked out. They just want our money and they don't care about our well-being. I didn't need to see nothing else. How much more do we need to see before we get the message? So if you are already growing, please consider growing extra for people around you. Okay, now we know we are up against climate change. We are up against economic pressure. We are up against a lot of stuff, but that does not mean it's impossible. It is not impossible. People have survived in worse. They have done it. But we don't know a lot about that because in this country, we're only taught about this country. And that's for a reason, so that we don't have a framework with which that we can tap into and learn how other people went against adversity. You have people in other countries in the worst of conditions still growing food in war zones and feeding people. So that's why I said at the top of the video, if you a naysaying negative type of individual, please get off my page. Don't come over here with that, because it takes a lot of faith, a lot of hope, and a lot of belief that there can be better, and there can be. But we have to want it, and we have to stop outsourcing our hope to others. We got to stop outsourcing what we need to others and waiting on others. Other people who we have put in power do not care about us, and I don't know how much louder they can say it. We know it. Let's accept it. Let's get out of the loop of talking about it and do what we need to do, because our time and energy is drained by talking about it, by looking at it, by sitting back and fussing about it. That's valuable energy that we could be using to plant gardens, to grow food, to teach people how to grow food. If you can't do some of the stuff that I talked about, perhaps get off the internet and get out in your community and start showing people how to grow food. That helps too. There's so many ways to get in where you fit in. If stuff is bothering you, it's for a reason. And that means you're supposed to do something about it. We can't wait on anybody else anymore. We need to get out there and get active. In person, on the ground, face to face. Because these platforms are compromised. And that's part of why I've been pretty quiet on here. Because I see what's happening. I see the wickedness that's at play. So, that's my TED Talk. Thank you for attending. Hopefully this encouraged somebody. Hopefully I lit a fire under somebody's behind and you decide to get active today. But if y'all need to learn anything, you need more information, scroll through my page. There's tons of information. There's tons of stuff about how to grow your food. Anything you're having a hard time with and you don't understand or you don't know how to do, or you're like, I'm struggling with this concept in food growing or in herbalism or in anything agricultural related, leave it in my comments. I'm happy to share whatever knowledge I have. I'll share it. Also homeschooling. I've had people ask me about homeschooling. I'm happy to share about that as well. Whatever I know, I received it freely. I'm going to give it freely. I'm going to help y'all learn as well. So let me know in the comments what y'all think, or how I can be of assistance. But thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a blessed